First Contact and the Alliance. The starship Horizon hung in the inky void of space, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of unfamiliar stars. Captain Alina Reyes stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the main view screen. The image before her was one she'd dreamed of since childhood. An alien world, blue and green and achingly beautiful. "We did it," she whispered, more to herself than to her crew. "We actually did it." It had been just over a year since humanity had cracked the code of faster-than-light travel. The Alcubierre drive, once thought to be purely theoretical, had become a reality thanks to a breakthrough in exotic matter production. Suddenly, the stars were within reach, and humanity had wasted no time in reaching for them. The Horizon was Earth's first true starship, designed for long-range exploration. Its mission: to seek out other intelligent life and establish peaceful contact. None of the crew had truly expected to succeed on their very first voyage. "Captain," called out Lieutenant Commander Zhen, the ship's sensor officer, "I'm detecting multiple objects approaching at high speed. They appear to be ships, but they're like nothing I've ever seen." Alina's heart raced. "On screen," she ordered, her voice steady despite her excitement. The view screen changed, showing a group of vessels unlike anything in human experience. They were organic in shape, more like sea creatures than spacecraft, gliding through the void with impossible grace. "They're hailing us," reported Communications Officer Amari. Alina took a deep breath. "This is it, people. First contact. Let's make humanity proud." She nodded to Amari. "Open a channel." The view screen flickered, and Alina found herself face to face with an alien. The being before her was vaguely humanoid, with iridescent skin and large, multifaceted eyes. When it spoke, its words were translated by the ship's advanced AI. "Greetings, travelers," the alien said, its voice melodious even through the translation. "I am Ambassador Xylix of the Galactic Alliance. We welcome you to the stars." Over the next few hours, Alina and her crew learned that they had stumbled upon the edge of a vast interstellar civilization. The Galactic Alliance, as it called itself, was a coalition of over a dozen spacefaring species, united in exploration and mutual defense. Ambassador Xylix, impressed by humanity's achievement of faster-than-light travel, invited the Horizon to dock with their flagship for further discussions. As Alina and a small team boarded the alien vessel, they were struck by the sheer scale and advancement of Alliance technology. "Your ship is incredible," Alina said as they walked through corridors that seemed to shift and change around them. "We've never seen anything like this." Xylix's multifaceted eyes glimmered with what Alina hoped was amusement. "What you see around you is made possible by our greatest achievement, the quantum nexus." "Quantum nexus?" Alina asked, her scientific curiosity piqued. "A network of quantum-entangled nodes spread throughout the galaxy," Xylix explained. "It allows for instantaneous communication and energy transfer across vast distances. It is the foundation of our civilization." As they entered what appeared to be a conference room, Alina saw representatives of various alien species gathered around a holographic display. The image showed a complex network of interconnected points. "The quantum nexus." "Captain Reyes," Xylix said, "on behalf of the Galactic Alliance, I would like to formally invite humanity to join our coalition." Alina's heart soared. This was beyond her wildest dreams, not just contact, but an invitation to join a galactic community. But her elation was tempered by caution. "That's an incredible offer, Ambassador. But I'm just the captain of an exploration vessel. I don't have the authority to make such a monumental decision on behalf of my entire species." Xylix nodded, a gesture that seemed oddly human. "Of course, we understand. But there is something you should know." The alien's tone grew serious. "The galaxy is not always a safe place. There are threats out there that no single species can face alone. The Alliance provides protection, shared knowledge, and resources, but membership comes with responsibilities." "What kind of responsibilities?" Alina asked, sensing there was more to this offer than met the eye. To join the alliance fully, a species must contribute to the quantum nexus. Another alien, a being that looked like a cross between a tree and a crystal formation, chimed in. Each member race is responsible for maintaining and expanding a portion of the network. Elena frowned. But we don't have anything like this technology. How could we possibly contribute? That, said Xylix, is the challenge. To prove your worth to the Alliance, humanity must demonstrate its ability to understand and work with quantum nexus technology. We will provide you with basic information, but the rest will be up to you. The implications were staggering. Humanity was being offered a place among the stars, but to claim it, they would need to master technology far beyond their current understanding. How long do we have? Elena asked. 1 standard galactic year, Xylix replied. If you succeed, you'll be welcomed as full members of the Alliance, with all the benefits that entails. If you fail, the alien left the sentence unfinished, but the implication was clear. Elena looked around at her team, seeing the mix of excitement and apprehension on their faces. This was more than a scientific challenge. It was a test that would determine humanity's place in the galaxy. We accept, Elena said, her voice firm. Humanity has never backed down from a challenge. We'll prove ourselves worthy of the Alliance. As they left the alien flagship, returning to the horizon with data crystals containing the basic principles of quantum nexus technology, Elena couldn't help but feel the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. They were about to embark on the greatest scientific endeavor in human history, with the fate of their species hanging in the balance. The horizon turned back toward Earth, its engines flaring to life. They had a year to achieve what had taken other species centuries. But if there was one thing Elena knew about humanity, it was this. When pushed to their limits, humans were capable of the impossible. As the ship accelerated to faster-than-light speeds, Elena looked out at the star-streaked vista of folded spacetime. Well, she said to herself, let's go make history. The Quantum Nexus Challenge. The news of first contact and the subsequent challenge from the Galactic Alliance spread across Earth like wildfire. Governments, scientists, and citizens alike were caught in a whirlwind of excitement, fear, and determination. The data brought back by the horizon became the most sought-after information in human history. Dr. Aria Chen stood in the center of a holographic display, surrounded by equations and diagrams that seemed to defy conventional physics. As the lead scientist of the newly formed Quantum Nexus Initiative, she had the unenviable task of deciphering alien technology that was centuries beyond human understanding. It's like trying to teach calculus to a caveman, she muttered, running a hand through her short, graying hair. We're missing fundamental concepts that the Alliance takes for granted. Captain Elena Reyes, now serving as the liaison between the scientific team and the global coalition of governments, stepped into the room. Any progress, Dr. Chen? Aria sighed, gesturing at the swirling holographic data. Some, but not enough. The quantum nexus operates on principles that contradict everything we know about quantum mechanics. It's not just entanglement. It's like they've found a way to manipulate the fabric of space-time itself at a subatomic level. Elena nodded, her brow furrowed. The Alliance representatives made it clear that they don't expect us to replicate their technology exactly. We just need to demonstrate our ability to work with it, to contribute to the network. Easier said than done, Aria replied. We're talking about creating stable wormholes at a quantum scale, maintaining them indefinitely, and using them to transfer information and energy instantly across light years. It's beyond anything we've ever attempted. As they spoke, another figure entered the lab. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a young theoretical physicist with a reputation for unconventional thinking, had been handpicked by Aria for the team. His eyes were alight with excitement. I think I've found something, he said, his words tumbling out in a rush. We've been approaching this all wrong. We're trying to understand the quantum nexus in terms of our current physics, but what if it's not just a technological advancement? What if it represents a fundamental shift in how we understand the universe? Arya and Alina exchanged glances. Go on, Arya said, intrigued despite her frustration. Yuki pulled up a new set of equations on the holographic display. Look at this. If we assume that spacetime isn't just curved by gravity, but is actually a kind of quantum foam at the smallest scales, then the principles of the quantum nexus start to make sense. They're not creating wormholes. They're manipulating the inherent connections that already exist between every point in space. The room fell silent as Arya and Alina processed this information. It was a radical idea, one that flew in the face of centuries of established physics. But as Arya examined Yuki's equations, she felt a glimmer of hope. This could work, she said slowly. It's going to require a complete overhaul of our approach, but if you're right, it could be the breakthrough we need. Over the next few months, the Quantum Nexus Initiative made rapid progress. Yuki's insight proved to be the key that unlocked a flood of new understanding. But as the human scientists delved deeper into the mysteries of the universe, tensions began to rise within the Galactic Alliance. On the Alliance's central hub world, a heated debate was taking place. Ambassador Zilix found himself defending humanity's inclusion in the Alliance to a council of skeptical representatives. They are progressing far too quickly, argued Xanthor, a member of a silicon-based species known for their conservative views. It took our civilization centuries to develop quantum nexus technology. These humans claim to be on the verge of a breakthrough after mere months. It's unprecedented and, frankly, disturbing. Xylix's iridescent skin rippled with emotion. Isn't that precisely why we should welcome them? Their unique perspective could bring fresh insights to our understanding of the universe. Or it could upset the delicate balance we've maintained for millennia, countered another representative, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix. What if they apply this rapid advancement to weapons technology? They could become a threat to the entire alliance. The debate raged on, but unbeknownst to the council, humanity was about to face its greatest challenge yet. Back on Earth, Arya, Yuki, and their team were preparing for their first full-scale test of a human-made quantum nexus node. The device, a spherical chamber filled with a swirling, opalescent mist, hummed with power. All systems are go, Arya announced, her voice tense with anticipation. Initiating quantum field manipulation in 3, 2, 1. The air seemed to shimmer and twist as the device came to life. For a moment, it looked as if they had succeeded. A point of light appeared in the center of the chamber, growing brighter and brighter. Then, without warning, alarms began to blare. The point of light collapsed in on itself, and the chamber began to shake violently. It's destabilizing. Yuki shouted over the din. The quantum foam is collapsing. Shut it down. Alina ordered, but it was too late. With a deafening crack, the chamber imploded. A shockwave of quantum energy rippled outward, passing through solid matter, as if it weren't there. As the dust settled, the team stared in horror at the destruction around them. What happened? Alina asked, helping Arya to her feet. Arya shook her head, her face pale. I don't know. The theories were sound. The math checked out. But something went wrong at a fundamental level. As they surveyed the damage, a chilling realization set in. The failed experiment hadn't just destroyed their lab. Sensors around the world were picking up anomalies in the fabric of spacetime itself. Somehow, their attempt to manipulate the quantum foam had caused ripples that were spreading out across the solar system. Oh God, Yuki whispered, staring at a holographic representation of the spreading disturbance. What have we done? The mood in the lab was somber as the implications sank in. They had not only failed in their attempt to create a quantum nexus node, but they had also potentially put the entire solar system at risk. The Alliance would surely see this as proof that humanity wasn't ready for their level of technology. But as Alina looked around at her team, she saw not defeat, but determination hardening in their eyes. Humanity had come too far to give up now. All right, she said, her voice cutting through the gloom. We made a mistake, a big one. But that's how science progresses. We learn from our failures. Now let's figure out what went wrong and how to fix it. Arya nodded, already turning back to her equations. We're missing something. Some crucial piece of the puzzle. But we're close. I can feel it. As the team threw themselves back into their work with renewed vigor, none of them realized that their failure was about to catch the attention of the Alliance in a way they never could have anticipated. For in the quantum ripples spreading out from Earth, patterns were forming. Patterns that hinted at a solution to a problem that had plagued the Alliance for centuries. The race against time had taken an unexpected turn, and humanity's future among the stars hung in the balance. Human ingenuity unleashed. The aftermath of the failed quantum nexus experiment plunged the scientific community into a frenzy of activity. As governments around the world grappled with the potential consequences of the spreading space-time anomalies, Dr. Arya Chen and her team worked tirelessly to understand what had gone wrong. It was during one of their marathon research sessions that Yuki Tanaka made a startling discovery. "Look at this," he said, pulling up a holographic display of the quantum ripples emanating from Earth. "There's a pattern here. It's subtle, but it's definitely there." Arya leaned in, her eyes scanning the data. "You're right, but what does it mean?" As they studied the pattern, Captain Alina Reyes burst into the lab, her face a mix of concern and excitement. "We just received a transmission from the Alliance. They've detected our anomaly, and they're sending a delegation immediately. They say it's urgent." The team exchanged worried glances. Had their mistake doomed humanity's chances of joining the galactic community? Hours later, a sleek Alliance ship descended through Earth's atmosphere, landing at a hastily prepared site near the Quantum Nexus Initiative's main facility. To everyone's surprise, Ambassador Zilix emerged, accompanied by a diverse group of alien scientists. "Captain Rice, Dr. Chen," Zilix greeted them, its multifaceted eyes gleaming with an emotion that was hard to read. "We need to talk about your recent experiment." Expecting a reprimand, the humans were shocked when one of the alien scientists, a being that seemed to be made of living crystal, stepped forward eagerly. "It's extraordinary," the crystalline being said, its voice a melodious chime. "In all our centuries of working with the quantum nexus, we've never seen anything like the patterns your experiment produced." Arya blinked in surprise. "I'm sorry, but I don't understand. Our experiment failed. We nearly caused a disaster." Zilix made a gesture that might have been the alien equivalent of a smile. "Dr. Chen, what you see as a failure may in fact be the greatest breakthrough in quantum nexus technology in millennia." Over the next few hours, the human and alien scientists engaged in a whirlwind exchange of ideas. It turned out that the very instability that had caused the experiment to fail had also produced quantum fluctuations that the Alliance had been trying to achieve for centuries. "We've long theorized that there might be higher dimensions of space-time that could be accessed through the quantum nexus," explained another alien scientist, this one a hovering cloud of sentient plasma. "But we've never been able to produce the necessary quantum states to test the theory. Somehow, your failed experiment did exactly that." As the implications sank in, excitement began to build among the human scientists. They hadn't failed after all. They'd stumbled upon something entirely new. "But how?" Yuki asked, his mind racing. "What did we do differently?" It was Arya who first put the pieces together. "It's our perspective," she said slowly, her eyes widening with realization. "We approached the problem with a completely different set of assumptions. We didn't know what was supposed to be impossible, so we tried things that the Alliance scientists would never have considered." The next few weeks were a blur of collaborative research. Human and alien scientists worked side by side, combining the Alliance's centuries of experience with humanity's fresh, unconventional approach. The breakthrough came when Yuki proposed a radical new model of quantum foam dynamics. What if we're not just manipulating existing connections in space-time? he suggested, sketching out complex equations on a holographic display. What if we're actually creating new connections, weaving the fabric of reality itself? The idea was met with initial skepticism from some of the Alliance scientists, but as they delved deeper into the math, excitement began to build. Yuki's model not only explained the anomalies produced by the failed experiment, but also opened up entirely new possibilities for quantum nexus technology. As the research progressed, tensions within the Galactic Alliance continued to simmer. News of humanity's unexpected breakthrough had spread, and not everyone was pleased. On the Alliance's central hub world, Ambassador Zilix found himself once again defending humanity before the Council. "This is precisely why we invited them to join us," Zilix argued passionately. "Their unique perspective has given us insights that we might never have achieved on our own." Xanfor, the silicon-based conservative, remained unconvinced. And what happens when they apply this unique perspective to military technology? They've already demonstrated an alarming ability to destabilize space-time itself. The debate raged on, but back on Earth, the combined human-alien research team was on the verge of a monumental achievement. In a newly constructed facility, designed to contain any potential quantum anomalies, Area, Yuki, and their Alliance colleagues prepared to test their new quantum nexus node. "All systems are ready," Area announced, her voice steady despite the tension in the air. "Initiating quantum field manipulation in 3, 2, 1. The air shimmered, and for a moment, it seemed as if history was repeating itself. But then, with a soft chime, a point of light appeared in the center of the chamber. It grew, stabilized, and then, "We've done it," Yuki breathed, staring at the readings in awe. "We've established a stable connection to the quantum nexus." The room erupted in cheers, human and alien voices mingling in celebration. They had achieved in weeks what had taken other species centuries. As the excitement died down, Captain Alina Reyes stepped forward, her face serious. "This is an incredible achievement," she said, "but it's only the beginning. We've proven that we can work with quantum nexus technology, but we still need to demonstrate that we can contribute to the network on a galactic scale." Area nodded, already deep in thought. "And we need to address the space-time anomalies we created with our first experiment. They're still out there, spreading across the solar system." It was one of the Alliance scientists, the crystalline being, who offered an unexpected solution. "What if," it chimed, "we could use your new model to not just control these anomalies, but to harness them, to turn a potential disaster into a tool for expanding and strengthening the entire quantum nexus?" The idea sparked a flurry of new calculations and theories. As human and alien minds worked together, a plan began to take shape, a plan that, if successful, would not only solve their immediate problem, but potentially revolutionize the entire Galactic Alliance. As the team threw themselves into this new challenge, none of them realized that their work was about to become crucial to the survival of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy. For out in the depths of space, a threat was stirring. A threat that only a combination of Alliance experience and human ingenuity would have any hope of stopping. The quantum ripples spreading from Earth were about to encounter something ancient and dangerous, setting the stage for humanity's greatest test yet. Threat to the Alliance. The celebration of humanity's breakthrough in quantum nexus technology was short-lived. Just as the combined human-alien research team was preparing to implement their plan to harness the spreading space-time anomalies, an urgent message arrived from the heart of Alliance space. Captain Alina Reyes, Dr. Area Chen, and Yuki Tanaka found themselves rushed to an emergency meeting with Ambassador Zilix and the highest-ranking Alliance officials on Earth. The atmosphere was tense as they gathered around a holographic display of the galaxy. "We've detected something troubling," Zilix began, its iridescent skin pulsing with agitation. "The quantum ripples from your initial experiment have spread further than we anticipated. They've reached a region of space we call the void." The hologram zoomed in on a vast, empty area between spiral arms of the galaxy. Even the stars seem dim and lifeless in this region. The void has long been avoided by Alliance ships, Xylix continued. Our sensors can't penetrate it, and the few expeditions we've sent to explore it have never returned. But now, the ambassador manipulated the hologram, and suddenly the seemingly empty space came alive with swirling patterns of energy. Aria leaned forward. Her scientific curiosity piqued despite the ominous tone. Those patterns, they're similar to the quantum fluctuations we produced, but on a massive scale. Xylix nodded gravely. Exactly. Your experiment seems to have awakened something in the void, something ancient and potentially catastrophic. As they watched, the swirling energies began to coalesce, forming what looked like a massive, galaxy-spanning web of quantum connections. By the stars, Yuki breathed. It's like a giant quantum nexus, but wrong somehow. Unstable. We believe, Xylix said, that we may have discovered the origin of the quantum nexus technology, an ancient network, perhaps created by a long-vanished civilization, that has lain dormant in the void for millions of years. Your quantum ripples have reactivated it, and now it's growing, consuming everything in its path. The implications were staggering. The hologram showed the strange network expanding, engulfing star systems at an alarming rate. If it's not stopped, Elena realized, it could consume the entire galaxy. Xylix's multifaceted eyes seemed to dim. The Alliance's conventional methods have proven ineffective. Our attempts to disrupt the network only seem to make it grow faster. We're out of options. A heavy silence fell over the room as the gravity of the situation sank in. It was Aria who finally broke it, her voice quiet but determined. Maybe not, she said. Maybe we can use our new understanding of quantum foam dynamics to counter this threat. Yuki's eyes lit up as he caught on to her train of thought. Of course. If this ancient network operates on principles similar to our quantum nexus, we might be able to interface with it, maybe even control it. Elena looked at them skeptically. You're talking about using an experimental technology that we barely understand to try and control a galaxy-spanning network of unstable quantum energy. Aria and Yuki exchanged glances. Yes, they said in unison. To everyone's surprise, Xylix made a sound that might have been laughter. You humans never cease to amaze me. Your proposal is audacious, possibly suicidal, and likely our only hope. Over the next few days, a plan took shape. The human-alien research team would use their newly developed quantum nexus node to attempt to connect with the ancient network. From there, they hoped to find a way to stabilize or deactivate it before it consumed more of the galaxy. As preparations were made, word of the crisis spread throughout the Alliance. The debate over humanity's inclusion reached a fever pitch. On the Alliance hub world, Xanthor addressed the Council, his crystalline form vibrating with emotion. This crisis is a direct result of human recklessness. How can we trust them to solve a problem they created? But this time, other voices rose in humanity's defense. The crystalline scientist who had worked with Aria and Yuki stepped forward. The humans' unconventional thinking is exactly what we need, it chimed. Their ability to see beyond our established paradigms may be our only chance at survival. As the Council debated, the situation in the void continued to deteriorate. Entire star systems were being swallowed by the growing quantum web, their unique energy signatures twisted and absorbed into the chaotic network. Back on Earth, final preparations were underway. A massive array of quantum nexus nodes, hastily constructed using the new human-inspired designs, stood ready. At its center was a control room where Aria, Yuki, and a team of the Alliance's best scientists would attempt to make contact with the ancient network. As Elena oversaw the final checks, she couldn't help but feel the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Humanity's first venture into galactic politics had somehow become a fight for the survival of all known civilizations. We're as ready as we'll ever be, Aria reported, her face pale but determined. Elena nodded, taking a deep breath. Then let's do this. Initiate the sequence. The air hummed with energy as the quantum nexus array came to life. In the control room, holographic displays showed the local quantum foam roiling with activity, establishing connection to the Alliance quantum nexus. Yuki called out, his fingers dancing over the controls. For a moment, everything seemed to be going according to plan. Then, without warning, alarms began to blare. "Something's wrong," Arya shouted over the noise. "The ancient network, it's not just accepting our connection, it's reaching back through it." On the displays, they watched in horror as tendrils of chaotic quantum energy began to seep through their carefully constructed nodes. The very fabric of space-time around Earth began to warp and twist. "Shut it down," Elena ordered, but it was too late. With a blinding flash of light and a sound like reality itself tearing apart, the control room vanished. When the spots cleared from Elena's eyes, she found herself, along with Arya, Yuki, and the rest of the team, standing on what appeared to be a vast plane of shifting, opalescent energy. Where are we?" Yuki asked, his voice trembling. Arya stared at a device on her wrist, her eyes wide with disbelief. "According to this, we're inside the network itself. Somehow, it pulled us in." As they struggled to comprehend their situation, a voice echoed around them. Not a sound, but a vibration in the quantum foam itself. "Into your ears," it boomed. "UAV, ALVAKENEDUS. You will be consumed, as AL will be consumed. The great Huon NVERGENC be stopped." Elena, Arya, and Yuki exchanged glances, the enormity of their situation sinking in. They were trapped inside an ancient, malevolent quantum network, facing an entity that threatened to devour the entire galaxy. And somehow, they had to find a way to stop it. Humanity's triumph. The opalescent plane stretched out in all directions, reality itself seeming to shift and warp around Captain Elena Reyes and her team. They stood at the heart of the ancient quantum network, facing an entity that threatened the entire galaxy. "What do we do now?" Yuki asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Dr. Arya Chen was already examining the readings on her wrist device. "This place, it's like a physical manifestation of quantum foam. Every point here is connected to every other point in the galaxy." Elena's mind raced. "Then maybe we can use that. If we can understand how this network operates, we might be able to control it from the inside." As they spoke, the entity's voice boomed around them again. "Your attempts are futile. We are eternal. We are inevitable." Tendrils of chaotic energy began to reach for them, the network attempting to absorb them as it had countless star systems. But as the energy touched them, something unexpected happened. Instead of being consumed, they found they could interact with it, shaping it with their thoughts. "Of course," Arya exclaimed. "Our exposure to our own quantum nexus must have changed us at a fundamental level. We're quantum entangled with this network." Yuki's eyes lit up with understanding. "Which means we can affect it directly. We don't need our equipment. We are the interface." Elena nodded, a plan forming in her mind. "All right, team, listen up. We need to stabilize this network, to bring it under control. Arya, Yuki, start working on a way to modulate these energy flows. The rest of you, spread out and see if you can find any kind of central control point." As the team dispersed, Elena found herself face to face with a swirling vortex of quantum energy, the closest thing to a physical manifestation of the entity they'd encountered. "Why are you doing this?" she asked, stalling for time as her team worked. "Why consume everything?" The entity's response reverberated through the quantum foam. "We were created to connect, to unite all things. But our creators vanished, leaving us incomplete, unstable. We must consume to stabilize." Alina's heart raced as she realized the implications. This wasn't a malevolent entity. It was a broken, abandoned piece of ancient technology, blindly following its programming. Meanwhile, Arya and Yuki were making progress. By focusing their thoughts, they found they could calm the chaotic energy around them, creating pockets of stability in the roiling quantum foam. "Alina," Arya called out, "I think we've figured it out. This network, it's not just about connecting points in space. It's about harmonizing them, bringing them into a kind of quantum resonance." Yuki nodded excitedly. "But because it's incomplete, the resonance is off. It's trying to force everything into harmony by consuming it." Alina turned back to the swirling vortex. "You don't have to consume," she said, hoping the entity could understand. "We can help you complete your purpose, to connect without destroying." For a moment, the entity was silent. Then, "Impossible. The PTTRN is incomplete." "Then let us complete it," Alina insisted. "We've learned how to manipulate quantum foam, how to create new connections in the fabric of space-time. Let us help you." As she spoke, she realized the truth of her words. Humanity's unique approach to the quantum nexus, their ability to think outside the established laws of physics. This was why they had been able to awaken the ancient network. And now, it might be the key to saving the galaxy. "Arya, Yuki," she called out, "I need you to take everything we've learned about our quantum nexus and apply it here. Don't try to mimic the existing pattern. Create a new one that bridges the gaps." The two scientists nodded, closing their eyes in concentration. The air around them began to shimmer as they manipulated the quantum foam, weaving new connections into the ancient network.